Hello friends, it's Kylie back with you today, otherwise known as Paper Sweetpea, and I am an independent creative memories advisor here in Australia. And today I'm going to share with you a layout that I created that was super quick, and it features the brand new Sandcastles Border Maker Cartridge, which released at the same time as the Sunrays For Days collection, which I have here on my desk. And it's a really fun summery themed collection. Beautiful bright papers, as you can see there. So I've got the papers here with me. I've also got the super cute and fun laser cut borders and embellishments here on my desk as well. And of course the sticker sheets. I've also got the variety matte pack, but I'm not going to be working with that for this layout today. So I'll move these out of the way and we'll get started. Alrighty, so I've selected some papers that I'd like to work with for my background. I just want to point out this one here. For anyone who knows me well will know how much I lost my mind when I saw the gingham paper in this paper collection. I absolutely love gingham, and I know I'm going to be working with this paper quite a bit because I just love it so much. But for today's layout, I'm actually going to use the reverse side, which is this stripy side. And to start with, I've got my blue paper here, and I just want to remove the center out of this paper because I've actually got three papers laid over each other for my background. And we've all been there. We all know that, you know, we don't want to, certainly don't want to waste any paper whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove a square from the center of this paper, and to do so I've just aligned the edge of my paper here in my 12-inch trimmer on the 2-inch mark line. I'm just going to swivel my board sideways because you can see here on the side edge here you've actually got measurements as well. And the Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer, it does not start cutting until you push down on the blade here that's sitting in the housing bracket. So I've aligned it at the 2-inch mark here to the side, and I'm just going to bring my blade down 2 inches from the top. And you can see here on the side we've actually got a line here that we can align with the 2-inch mark on the side of our bracket there. So I'm going to bring it down to 2 inches. That won't start to cut until I push down. And I'm going to push down, and I'm going to stop when I get to the 10-inch mark at the base here, because that will tell me that I'm also 2 inches from the bottom. I'm going to rotate my paper, align that up to the 2-inch mark again, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Move my housing bracket down, push down, and I'm going to stop when I get to the 10-inch mark on the side there. We're just going to keep rotating until we've removed that center square from the center of our paper. And then the center can be used on another project, or perhaps to mat some photos, create some tags, whatever you like. We've just got one more rotation. And that at 2 inches. I'm going to stop at 10 inches. And I can then safely remove the center from my paper, and that can be used for something else. Okay, so we can now sit our frame to the side, and we're going to actually start working on the next layer of our background. Now with our muted tone, you can see here that I've got some very subtle fold lines. So basically what I've done is I've just folded it in a diagonal one way, I've opened it back out, and I've just gently folded it the opposite as well. I certainly haven't creased those fold lines really sharply, and once we've finished punching our border on this piece of paper, you're not going to see these fold lines. So don't stress too much that we've folded this paper, because the completed layout you won't actually really see these fold lines. Okay, so to begin with, I'm just going to fold back into that first crease that I made. like so. And this is where I'm going to bring in my Border Maker system and my Sandcastles Border Maker Cartridge. I'm just going to slot that into the housing bracket there until it clicks. And then I'm just going to open out the arms on my Border Maker system there. And what I need to do, and this is probably going to seem a little weird, what I need to do is I want this corner here to go at the base of my bracket, and the right angle will be at the top. So the straight edge gets fed into the bracket like so, and you can see there my right angle is at the top and I've got the corner at the base. Now with the paper at this length, it would allow for our punch to go 6 times along that edge, but I only want to go 5 from this bottom corner. Okay, so we're not going to punch the last set of little nodules on our bracket. I'm just going to carefully slide that corner into our punch and punch it. That's our first punch. I'm just going to make my way along the bracket until I've punched 5 times. So that's 3, 4, and then one last time will be 5. And you can see that we've left this open corner here. We're not going to punch that just yet. I'm just going to bring in my scissors and cut off these little tails just so they're not in the way. All right, so I'm going to open up the bracket, and I'm now going to flip that triangle over so that our right angle will remain at the top with our punched sandcastles, and we're going to have the corner at the base of our bracket again. And we're just going to repeat the exact same step. So I'll slide that into the bracket, push those arms out of the way. And just the same deal, I'm just going to start by punching that bottom corner in that first set of nodules. And I'm going to punch 5 times along the bracket there. 3 and 2 more. Once again, I've left that corner open. I'll just cut away those little pieces. Alrighty. I'll just open that back out. The next step is I'm going to open back out my paper like so. I'm going to fold along the opposite crease that we made earlier. Make sure everything lines up nicely. And I'm just going to do the same thing, only we only need to just make that first punch to remove the sharp corner. Very carefully place your sandcastles into the bracket because it's easy to fold down your little flags. Now, because we've already punched this away, your flags won't line up to the edge of this bracket, okay? So we're only going to be lining up the straight edge that we haven't punched. So as long as that's nice and straight on that bracket, which it is, I can fold that out of the way. And I'm just going to go in and punch that first set of nodules out. So hook that in and punch. I'm going to open that again and bring out our triangle. I'm going to turn it over again and make sure that's all nicely aligned, of course. And you don't need to worry about where those sandcastles sit. You just need this straight edge on this corner aligned to that bracket, and that will be the piece that we punch away. Like so. All right, that's all we need of our cartridge at the moment. I'll just get rid of all my bits and pieces of confetti. And now you can see that we've got our lovely Sandcastles frame that's been punched all the way around our square piece of paper. So really what we need to do now, I'm just going to make sure that that bottom piece of paper is aligned nice and neatly on my cutting mat, which it is. and I can adhere down my top layer now with repositionable tape. Alright, so we've got our frame all adhered into place. As you can see, you can still see these crease lines, but we're going to add another piece of paper over the top of this. And I'm bringing in my beloved gingham paper. And what we need to do is trim this down to 10 inches by 10 inches. And make sure you keep the strips that you're cutting off this piece of paper, because you can use that again to make some borders or towards another project. So 10 inches by 10 inches. Like so. And now that will be adhered, centered over the Sandcastles frame, and you're not going to see that fold line, those fold lines at all. And it's really simple. You just line each corner up to your crease lines to make sure that that paper's centered, which it is. And then just some repositionable tape. Like so. Now, if any of your little sandcastles are sitting up too much to your liking, you can just come in with your repo tape and adhere them down and just gently rub away any of the adhesive that is left showing. So your finger will gently massage that away if that bothers you. Alright, so I've got 3 photos that I want to include onto my layout today, and I've also just pulled a couple of these laser cut borders and the summer embellishment from the pack. I love this title. And we're going to allow for 3 photos on the page. I'm thinking I'm going to add my little clouds and sunshine to the top of the page there, and then we can layer our photos like so to the page. Alright, so I'll adhere this border first, and I'm actually going to use foam squares for this, just to create a lovely dimension on the page. It sits up from the background, and if you wanted to, you could trim the border to be the same width as that inside paper that we've got there, so 10 inches, but I've actually run mine to the full length of the page. And I'm just going to cut some photo mats. Now you can use cardstock if you prefer, but I'm going to use this lovely yellow paper. And I need 1 photo mat to be 6 inches by 4 inches. So we'll cut that 4 inches wide. And we need it to be 6 inches. I need 1 photo mat to be 4 inches by 4 inches. So that's already at 4 inches, so I can trim that one. A little piece left over. And I need 1 photo mat to be 5 inches by 3.5. Okay. Now I have already trimmed my photos down a little bit. So this was a 6x4 photo that's going over my 6x4 mat, but I have trimmed it down to 5.75 by 3.75. So it was just the smallest amount off my photo. So we can adhere those into place. And this photo mat was 5 inches by 3.5. So I've cut this one down to 4.75 by 3.25. Like so. And our final photo mat was 4 by 4. So I've trimmed my photo down to 3.75 by 3.75. The yellow is really popping on those photo mats. It's going to add some lovely colour to the page. All right, so we can layer those over just a little. We could pop that one here, like so. Get them into place. Again, just using the repositionable tape. And then I can add my little summer border here down the bottom, and I think I'm going to use foam squares for that as well. Again, just to create a lovely dimension to it, sitting up from the page. I'm just going to let that overlap my photo just a little bit, like so. All right, so we'll bring in our sticker sheet and we'll layer some stickers to our page. Okay, I really like these little subtitles that I might add to the base here. Sunny days and sandy toes. I'll just add that under the summer banner. I've got a little sand bucket here which goes with my photos, as well as a cute beach ball which we'll add over here. And I'll layer the beach ball with a foam square, even though that's a sticker already, just for the same reason. It just builds that dimension. Like so, and then we can add, we might add another little phrase to the top there. Again, I'm going to use foam squares for that. Like so. All right, friends, so there you have it. That completes our page for today. You can see how quick that was to come together and how effective that sandcastle border frame is on the page. Now, even though I did create this as a single page layout, you could quite easily make this a double. I'll just bring in a second background page that I have here. So you could create 2 pages exactly the same, and you could just, you know, mix up the placement of your photos there and interchange different borders to the top and bottom, but it could quite easily be adapted for a 2-page spread as well. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my page come together, and I shall see you next time. Bye.